So if we get tomorrow, I promise I can try. Give you love to borrow, it just to get us by. Sometime when you're ready, I'll soften up the blow. Our love was never made to last, and I don't wanna give you back to hold on to. To hold on to. To hold on to.
All right, everyone. Welcome. So, we're already 3 weeks into the split, and everything is looking pretty crazy so far. Tonight, we do have a very interesting matchup on our hands. So, we see Schlam Esports here. They've started the split really strong, winning both their series so far, and sitting at the top of Group A, sitting at 2-0. Tonight, they're hoping to give their mid laner, Chili, a gift called Victory on his 19th birthday. Say happy birthday to him, chat. Just give him some well wishes. DOV Nightfall, on the other hand, they haven't quite been able to find success so far without any victories. They're just sitting at 0-2. But that just means they're very hungry for a victory, and they're looking to take a win here tonight. And hey, what can I say? I'm hoping things get spicy. I don't want a blowout. I want something to happen tonight. Any thoughts before we do go into the match, Wolven? But so far, yeah, just give Chili a nice happy birthday. Let him know that the legends at Esports out here is looking out for him.
If I had a soundboard, I would definitely play some type of happy birthday tune to your boy Chili. I sadly do not, though. So, happy birthday to you, Chili. Happy 19th birthday, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being old.
Welcome to the club. What can I say?
Birthday.
So,
hope you get a win.
anything interesting here that you're hoping to see?
And I'm just interesting to see how good my cast is going to be when I actually have sleep this time and don't actually cast with 24 plus hours without sleep. So I actually got sleep this time, chat. It's okay. I got sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to go 100%. I got ice cream in one hand, apple juice in the other, and I'm ready to kick some butt.
We're looking good here tonight, boys. Now I'm excited to see here what happens. Chili on the other hand, here he's sitting at 2-0 right now on his team Schlam, and they're looking to just take down DOV tonight. And what do you think of the matchup? Do you think it's going to happen, or do you think it's going to be a fight for victory?
Schlam has always been a strong team in general, LAS Premade, and I mean, it's I know underdog teams are a thing, but Schlam just looks so strong, and as you said, he'll be just falling really short for the first 2 weeks. Going 0-2, Schlam going 2-0. So I'm just gonna have to go based on what I've seen from both teams, and gotta give it to Schlam.
Well, so far, they definitely have the momentum. Yeah. Schlam has the momentum coming into tonight, and hey, they're probably in good spirits too. Mr. Chili over here probably had a good dinner, ready to play, and we'll see if he's able to carry that through tonight.
Better carry, Chili. It's all on you.
Yep. It's all on him. And hey, tonight is the night for him, right? He's looking to make himself feel good. Probably going to feel himself a little tonight too. Probably going to bring out some different champions. I'm hoping to see something spicy.
I'm always down for something spicy, salty. I'm always down.
Skarner?
Yo, I'll give someone a skin if they pick Skarner this
They
game.
just changed the Turbo Chem Tank Mythic passive, so it does benefit Skynet.
2,800
get that
gold.
ability haste.
That's so good.
2,800 gold, and you get
Ability haste, which
ability
Skarner
haste.
needs so much. Just spam out this whole left and right. I would love to see a Skarner tonight. I would absolutely love it.
Definitely.
Doubt it's gonna happen because only 1% of people play that champion. I'm part of that 1%, which makes the pool even lower for this game. So, yeah, big sad days for Skarner mains. Never seen competitive play.
I definitely do think the champion is in a pretty good spot overall, just doesn't receive as much play as he should. Because, although QSS is a little more accessible now with the new items, so that does also hurt him in a way, but the fact that his items are a little cheaper now, and they also, the mythic passives do benefit him, it does end up helping him out as a champion overall because he is able to spec into cooldown or ability haste without having to sacrifice too much in means of itemization.
Exactly. Mythics in general just opened up a lot for a lot of champions here. Opens up a lot of counters, but opens up a lot of their strengths. Skarner said is one of them, opens up a lot for him, and actually does make him a pretty strong champion. So in general, yeah. I mean, Season 11, say what you want about the Mythics. I think it's a okay system. I think it could have been better implemented, but it's still, right, going for change, and it's not like it was their Season 9 positional queue change.
Yeah.
So we all know how that ended up working out. Not even like a month of lifetime then it immediately got reverted.
Well, so far, things are looking a little interesting with this new season, and I'm all for change. Things are changing a little quickly, though, considering the fact that they've had to tone down and shift a lot of items just
I'll
because...
be fuddling.
Oh, thank you for the sub, Red. It's been great. Thank you so much. But, like I said, Mythics have changed everything. It might sound a little clickbaity, but Mythics have made everything crazy so far. A lot of itemization changes have made other champions super strong. Definitely have helped out certain classes. Like assassins were not as prevalent last season in more competitive game modes than they were before, and with the new itemization, I think they can be strong. So right now we're just waiting to get into Giraffe. We're just waiting for all the players to ready up, but we're just going to discuss a couple of things before we do get into that.
All I can say is, as an ADC main, everyone's an assassin.
I can agree with that.
You're playing Ornn, you're an assassin.
Ornn is a little bit of everything. Little bit of
really
everything.
Is. I sadly, experienced that firsthand in my draft games this last day.
Definitely watched a couple of those. Draft is looking pretty crazy, just like Premade. Definitely excited.
Definitely a lot of fresh talents in general for this split in general for Legends, and I'm actually really happy to see in general all of the fresh faces and see what they have to bring to Legends here, because this is honestly the best split for new faces to get recognition, because a lot of the old guards just are not here.
Yeah, I can completely agree with you. With some new changes, new faces, we're looking to see what everyone has in store for us. I'm pretty excited to see. We do have an emergency sub for DOV, though. They are missing a player.
Like they're starting the ban.
So they are starting draft. Unfortunately, DOV does lose a ban because they have used an emergency sub, so we'll get right into that in just a second.
Alrighty, so in case if you guys cannot see it, currently the bans and drafters has go. DOV currently has first two bans going to Olaf and Galio. I see currently has Seraphine and Nunu here, so both looking, spinning out jungle and mid laners here currently, and so far has a lot of aggressive bans for both sides, and that seems to be the name of the game here for Season 11. And obviously DOV has to ban out the wonderful Teemo, as they do end up losing a ban here because they are using an E-sub here today, so they will only have to deal with 2 initial bans here, only getting 4 bans in total. I see gonna have 5 here tonight. There's a little bit of an advantage there, especially if you know what you're drafting, and the final ban is gonna go ahead and go.
It looks like Slam Esports does not want their support to play any engaged champions, or with high like engage ults.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it makes sense. The bot
Because they
lane is
banned
big
Leona
priority
and
right now.
Seraphine, and they also banned up the Nunu, so like the Nunu's gone because Nunu's a strong champ in general. Just having his ult the way it is, and if you put that with a Seraphine Leona, ooh, that's a scary.
Yeah, definitely. So, you'll be thinking what they want to do on the pyro picture. They are both side, so see if they can pick something late. It's actually going to be the Ashe coming out, and Shalom immediately insta-locking the Hecarim. They knew what they were going for. Hecarim,
Ooh, and
well, we have the horse group here, and oh my goodness, Sham looking for a very, very aggressive comp. So far.
you asked for exotic picks, and we got the horses.
Booty are being followed up of DOV. What is going on here? So far, both these teams looking very exotic in general, and I mean, I'm looking at both of them to see if they can pull off.
It's kind of weird seeing the Ashe and the Udi together. Like, you don't really picture them together because Ashe is more like, you engage, team fight champ, while Udi is more just like running around the map taking objectives.
Yeah, definitely. And Jana is going to be going out for DOV. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm actually kind of want to know what DOV wants to go here. You see, Shalom locking the Anivia here, and Shalom just has so much lane prio, heavy engage, and counter engage because you can't engage on this team. They have such a vulnerable bot lane, no gap closers. They have mobility, but I mean that's not going to be enough when you're going against a Hecarim here. And Shalom still have the pick of the lot for the ADCs here, and if they really wanted to, they could go for something extremely aggressive like Samira. And Ashe and John aren't going to be able to do much into Samira, so that should be a pretty good pickup for Shalom if they can get it. If DOV does not ban it.
How do you feel like Caitlyn ban? Like, I know she just got a buff, but I feel like Caitlyn.
I feel like if you're looking at them, I mean, in general, I don't think Caitlyn's would be good for Shalom, so I do not think it's the best of bans, but I can see where they're coming from with the ban here. Tristana, that makes more sense of a ban. They have a very aggressive comp, so they want to lessen that aggression. But I mean, Samira is still up.
But,
Samira
yeah,
would
they left
so
Samira, they
good
also
right
left
now.
Kaisa, and then they left, like,
Yes,
I know
Samira, Kaisa.
Like,
they have
3 squishies, and you left Jin up.
Shalom has so many good ADC options right here, so we'll see what they are going to end up picking up here. I'm going to be really sad if I end up seeing something that is not aggressive, but there you go. The Kaisa being locked in for Shalom Esports, that is definitely 100% a pick that is really good into this situation here. A lot of mobility, a lot of scaling, and a lot of kill threat.
Well, especially with Rel, because, Kaisa can, ult in, she'll still be connected to the Rel, and then you can just stun, and then Rel can just ult. And just definitely. Or it could be the opposite, like Rel could just engage, stun, and then, they could just easily get their combos off. I'm just curious of how this bot lane's gonna play out. And
see, the Lux is gonna be locked in. And again, what are you doing? Like, Shalom Esports has such a heavy engaged, very tanky, very mobility-based comp. And you're taking like something with no escape, no gap closers, not really able to just stomp lane, and even if they get a lead, it's really hard to snowball off of it. Because
I agree.
I mean, you're gonna put behind an Anivia at the most if you focus mid, but where's your kill threat on mid? I mean, Udyr doesn't have a gap closer, Lux doesn't have a gap closer, and Anivia up the wall. I think Cho'Gath here is an okay pick, and I think that's probably the best pick that DOV has so far, but Shalom Esports draft is looking absolutely amazing.
What do you think DOV's win con could be with this comp? And there's the magic.
After I look at that Gnar, I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't mean to laugh like that. I mean, DOV, it's a very solo queue oriented comp. I think the only good pick here is the Cho'Gath here. The Ashe, I mean, you started off with it, so maybe I can't say too much there, but you don't pick a comp around it. You throw Ashe R here and you pick someone out. What do? You do nothing. You get it on the Vel. Vel isn't gonna die. You get it on the Anivia. Anivia's just gonna go to Egg Nivea. Kaisa can, if she gets QSS, can QSS out of it, or it can just R out of it. Hecarim is Hecarim. He can R out of it, even counter engage into it. And you don't want to start things off with the Gnar. I mean, you don't have much kill threat, you don't have much damage, nor do you have that much scaling either. You have the Kaisa and Nivea on Slam Esports. Gnar in general just becomes such an issue in the side lanes, and I mean, Hecarim is just such an easy one-dimensional champ that can just engage whenever he wants to. He does the damage, he's super tanky, and you know, does exactly what DOV doesn't want Hecarim to do. So
Yeah, no, because I'm looking here, I'm trying to like find like positive points for DOV's comp, and I get the Janna pick. Janna's a really good enchanter support right now, especially with the Pale Mandate, and especially want to go, you know, if you really want to go, Moonstone, the Moonstone build. I just don't like Janna with Ashe. It doesn't make any sense because they're both really weak in lane together. So when you put two weak laners together against two really strong early game champions, because people forget that Rel is a really good engaged champion at early level. She hits that level 2, she's like Leona, you're gonna die. And especially you put that with a Kaisa, who can just literally either she's gonna do QW or do QE, and if she does QE, she's gonna run you down.
Now, Kaisa does struggle most matchups early game, just due to the fact that she does not have the amount of damage by herself, but that doesn't matter when you have a Rel lane on top of a very squishy, non-gap closer mobility bot lane. Yes, they have the Ashe Low, yes, they have the Janna passive with the speed and the Janna shield and the Janna Naka, but I mean, that only does go so far. I mean, it seems like bot lane is just playing weak side, but Ashe, Janna, not the weak side you want to be looking into, especially if you're going against Rel Kaisa.
Now, I'm just curious about what this Udyr is going to be doing all game, because usually when you see Udyr, when you think of Udyr, you think of split pushing, because Udyr is not a really good team fighter. He can't really get in there and team fight like a Hecarim can. So I'm curious if either he's going to split push the entire time and try to obtain the objectives, and if they do that, is the rest of the team going to group with the Cho'Gath, or is this going to be like a solo queue game where everyone's just everywhere?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what's looking like for DOV right now. Very solo queue oriented comp, I do gotta say, based on the standards for what drafts go for. I think Slam Esports definitely a really good draft from them. They have everything they need. They have the win cons. They have the ability to play from behind. And DOV, I mean, even if they somehow get an early game lead, it's very difficult for them to snowball off of it.
You know, and you could prove me wrong, because I have seen some Udyrs who can carry games, solo carry games. I have seen a Cho'Gath. Well, my top laner on LAS draft literally carried the game on Cho'Gath. I have seen Cho'Gath carry games. So, you know, DOV could just, you know, say, hey, it doesn't matter, you know, our draft might have been a bad against Slam Esports, but we're still going to win this game.
They definitely could be looking for something like that, but the one issue that Cho'Gath does run into is the ability to lock down very mobile and high damage dealers, and that's exactly what Anivia is, that's exactly what Kaisa is. Hecarim does a really good job staying close and staying alive, and Gnar is just very mobile, very hard to lock down too, and Rel can be the same way with her kit. She is either very hard to lock down, or she is, you know, easy to lock down, but you ain't locking her down, she's locking you down. So it's very difficult for the win con of Cho'Gath here. Udyr would be the only win con here I can realistically see, unless they can just absolutely stomp mid or bot and just shift that pressure somewhere else.
Now, do you think this is going to be a tanky Udyr or a more of a damage Udyr?
If it's a tanky Udyr, they lose out a lot on damage. If it's a damage Udyr, that kind of suits more of what the win con needs, because Cho'Gath very solid tank. Basically, don't need double tanks in this retrospect. But in general, no matter what you're looking at here, it's very difficult for Udyr to do what he wants to do. But I do feel like damage Udyr is the best part. But because damage Udyr and he's squishy, you're going against a very mobile team that can counter engage on top of you. So both sides doesn't really fit for Udi here. So Grig's
Yeah,
gonna have a very
I
hard
do
time.
agree with you. It's kind of hard for Udi to do anything with his team, though the way it is, because you don't really have damage dealers to pressure off the side lanes where Udyr can just take objectives, take towers, and just do his thing. And on the other hand, he can't really do that in the first place because, like you said, the other team is just so mobile. Hecarim has his R. Hecarim can just speed down there. Then you have Rel who can just also speed down there, and then you have Kai'Sa R who can just literally just blink all the way towards him. And then on top of that, you have a Nivea R which slows you, and then you have the wall.
Yeah, definitely. But we're gonna go ahead and run out the spectator delay here. About 10 seconds here. We're gonna go into a short break. But ladies and gentlemen, do not forget predictions are open. They will close right after we get out of this little break here. Once we get onto the rift. But until then, see you then.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is week 3 of the LAS Premade, the Shalom Esports versus DOV here, and we have Shalom Esports go ahead and go on the red side here, while DOV is going to be settling on the blue side here. It looks like both teams are going to be opening up with a casual 5-point here. It looks like nothing spicy is going to happen early on here, but I mean, Shalom is fine with that. DOV, I think they need to get an early lead as fast as possible if they can close this
The
game out.
only way for DOV to actually win this game is that they have to get their Cho'Gath ahead. They have to get their Ashe ahead if Ashe builds the Kraken Slayer build. And it looks like she is going to go to Kraken Slayer build because she does have lethal tempo. And then Udyr has to do Udyr things. If that doesn't happen, Slam Esports is just going to run these over with their comp.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, definitely.
Like there is no way that DOV can team fight and come out with either coming out losing the team fight or almost losing all their members.
Yeah, definitely going to be very difficult for them. King Raven going to go ahead and put down a ward on River here. Another ward is going to be answered by Chili and that pixel push there. And looks like it is going to be an Udyr starting top side here, so
Which
should
is
be
quite
pretty
interesting.
easy to spot out since King Raven is going to be late to lane here.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that Udyr wanted to start top side.
Oh, so bot did not fake wish, so yeah, they should know it's top side.
But as I was saying, it's kind of interesting that Udyr does start top side. Yes, you want to get your bot lane ahead, but your bot lane just they can't do much against a Rao Kai'Sa. So I feel like you should focus your top side more and try to get your top mid ahead as far as possible. Get that Cho'Gath as tanky as possible so you can start being that front line that you need.
No, it is pretty difficult to gank in general though, so bot lane would be the easiest one. And mid lane obviously can gank whatever side you're playing on, because since it is mid lane, it is the center of the lane or center of the map. No, very hard to gank onto. Top's not really a volatile matchup in general. Bot lane can be a pretty volatile matchup, but in general, it's normally gonna favor Ace Tactics Shogun.
It's gonna be hard for the Udyr to really gank anywhere besides maybe mid lane. But even then, I feel like Udyr just needs to keep on, needs to look for the ganks. I feel like bot lane, the Ashe and the Janna doesn't need to push. They just need to let the Kai'Sa and the Rao push them in, so they can be under their tower, so it gives the Udyr an opportunity to gank. Because I feel like if they keep on if they let the Kai'Sa and them shove, it gives Udyr the opportunity to go in and get their Janna and get their Ashe ahead.
I'm also hoping that Tactics and Shogun do not give this. Oh wait, hold that thought. We have a gank coming to mid lane. Really good wall is going to be placed there. No summon is going to be used, but it is a good amount of chunk going on to Tommy there, as it's going to take quite a bit of healthy damage and head to the top side. HBBGC is going to get quite a bit of damage off onto Kiki Raven. Kiki Raven going to try to trade him up as fast as possible, but HB going to be very fast and maybe looking for a kill here. Flash over the rupture there. Kiki Raven still has this flash, but it's come out one more auto, and first blood goes over to HB there. Easy kill onto Gnar there. Started out Mega Gnar, ended it into Mini Gnar there, using those, different forms to the advantage. And protect Shogun, Tactics gonna funk on here. Really good flash from out. Guns, be really careful. He has no longer the summoner there, and the body slam is going to be used. Not the quite place you want to be, but Flashing Knight gonna be coming out. He's going to be from outside, just way too slow there. They could have played that so much better, but they still get the summoner there and get quite a bit of pressure into that bot room.
That was a really good flash by the Gnar. Him flashing over the rupture gave him the opportunity to get in the position he needed, so Cho'Gath had to either rotate back to his tower, and he was going to die no matter what, or rotate back to the bush and see if he can do some cheese thing.
Yeah, definitely did not put Kiki Raven in pretty good spots here. Kiki Raven totally fine not stopping that back. He's like, I don't even want you in this lane anymore. I just want to CS as much as possible. You can take your BM back. You can keep it. See in about 30 seconds. Well, it looks like an engagement from Shogun here. And what I was trying to say earlier, though, is that Ace Tactics and Shogun need to not give the only win con that this bot lane has. And that win con is, poke them down to below half HP and then kill them when they engage on you, right?
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, as long as Ace Tactics Shogun, end up just either winning out in the CS department, because, always Kai'Sa is going to be fine going into an even lane. They don't necessarily need to... Ooh, very close kill going on into mid lane here. Chili almost being able to pick that one up onto Tommy, but in general,
Tommy
Kai'Sa...
really does not want to use his barrier.
Yeah, he does not. He's playing very greedy here, but it is actually going to benefit him when he does get this back off. He does not have TP, though, like Chili does. Chili can shove this wave out, get a pretty good reset here, and be in really good standing against Tommy in this mid lane here. But yeah, Kai'Sa fine going even in lanes in general, just because she does scale so hard, and that does give Shogun a chance to roam if he does choose to. But in general, they still have a lot of kill threat into this bot lane here, so they definitely should not be afraid to go on to this Ashe and Janna.
Yeah, I do agree. Even though Janna does have exhaust, it doesn't really matter because you have the ignite and then you also have a heavy engage. So in general, it doesn't like...
Looks like HB gonna go for a little bit of poke kick. He does have 6 and he almost has Mega Gnar. Could be looking for something here, but just gonna get a lot of poke off, packing a lot of those passes from this W, and Praxis even up top side to see if they can't go for something there, but not gonna be able to find anything, but does get a reset off of Kiki Raven and gives HB a little bit more of a CS look here.
Oh, it looks like...
They're looking for something all poison here. They're really careful, really good double stunning. That's gonna go off here. Exhaust gonna go on Ace Tactics, Flash coming out from Poison. She's out there. Heal is not gonna be needed. Blade Seeker's gonna be used, but it's gonna land on the minion instead. So they can put something onto Tommy here. Really good wall, and one more E should be enough. He does have the flash. Tommy has his flash and berry up. Is not gonna do anything. And Tommy, once again, not gonna use the single summoner.
He does not want to use the summoners. He gets so close to dying. He's like, no, I do not want to use my summoners. Because I feel like Tommy's making the right call not using his barrier this early. Because I feel like a lot of mid laners, when they bring barrier, they use it way too early. Where it gives, because that gives so much pressure for you. So the laner knows that it doesn't matter if doesn't matter if you do almost kill me, I have that barrier to protect me. So you can turn around and fight.
HB going for a poke under the tower there, uses the ultimate, gets that poke off. The R is free to use when you are Gnar, just the fact that it does come back up by the time you get into Mega Gnar again anyway. And Kiki Raven just not having a good lane. He even got the Ninja Tabby, or my bad, plated steel caps on his as his first item there, and first dragon actually ended up going over to Shalom Esports, No reason why it shouldn't. They have mega bot pyro right now. They have pyro everywhere, not even just bot.
Yeah, no, I feel like Shalom Esports has really good like objective control right now, really good vision around the map. They have a lot of wards on their red side jungle, so it looks like they're mostly going to be focusing dragons, which is really, one of the most main objectives in the game is to get as much dragons as you can so you can get the soul.
Practice, you are a mean pony here. Looking for something onto poison. And Web here. Web looking way too close. Guys, have to be really careful. Your name's gonna go off. Knight is there. One more auto. Ace-Tac is gonna be able to pick up that one. Poison does not have to flash, but then you don't have the resources to go back on, but it doesn't matter. You will take that. And there's gonna be a kill going over the Ace-Tac. It's free of charge.
That was a really nice lane gank. It looked like Janna didn't realize there was a ward in that bush. She overstepped and then Hecarim art, or did a really good art, and then...
I mean, I don't think they expected Praxis to be down there. I mean, in general, the Hecarim hasn't showed anywhere on the map, and neither has this Udyr, but maybe they just weren't expecting it whatsoever, and I mean, you're fine taking that if you could finish lobbies with Ballin. Gun's gonna be the next target, he's gonna be forced to flag, does get the scuttle, but loses out on a 5-minute summoner.
How do you feel about the Udyr having Tiamat first?
I mean, I don't play Udyr too much. I don't think it's horrible. Definitely does help with this clear, and he can go either tanky or kind of like a damage route here. And it's actually looking for something in this top lane. Tommy taking a lot of damage. He's finally gonna burn a summoner. 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes in, we'll finally burn it here. And looking for something in this top side here. HP does have Mega North. I don't think you want to go in on this. This is not the time to do it. The R going to come out is not going to land, and it looks like they are going to go in on this really good jump out of the rupture from HB here. Really good stun onto Gunther, and he's trying to walk out as fast as possible. Excuse me, the Embraxis is on his way here. He definitely, he does have the body slam here. They could go for Geeky Raven. He does have the flash. He's actually going to use it on HB, see if he can't get the consume here, but he's not going to be able to get it. Prex is going to be able to pick up that one, and who's going to be the next target? There's going to be a double jump coming up from HP. He's going to be stunned under the tower, but that may have just been a bait. Head to the boss side here, and Rev almost ends up falling down. Same with Ace-Tac. It's poison. One more auto for the pass on the Kaisa, but it looks like nothing is going to go down onto the boss side here. It looks like a little bit of trades of some, and very low health bars on the ADC on the side of Schwab. It's support on the DOV, but a really good play for Schwab. So, oh, wait, we're not done yet. Really good flash coming out. The stun coming out from the Ace-Tac to be able to pick that one up with a Void Seeker auto combo. And that is finally going to be a kill going down to his bot lane. 2-0 lead going over to Slam Esports ADC.
Slam Esports is not letting up right now. They see that they're that the two of them died in top lane, so they're like, okay, we're gonna use that advantage, and we're just gonna know that the Janna has to back with the low HP, and we're just gonna flash on top of her and ignite it and just stun it and just give a free kill to the Kai'Sa. Even though Kai'Sa was so low, I feel like Ashe should have not have been so much extended. She knew that her Janna had a back, so her being up that far was kind of interesting because
I was just gonna jump right over the rupture. He has Venom. He has Triforce, but no, but Triforce. He is looking to heavily bully Geeky Raven here. And Geeky Raven, not even remotely close to his mythic item. It looks like we're gonna see something going down into the mid lane here. Barrier is going to be used. I don't think it's gonna matter. One more E is going to be enough. Chili's gonna be able to pick up that one, and HP gonna be knocked up by the rupture, but I don't think he cares one bit here. And finally, a solo kill into the mid lane, as Chili's probably gonna be able to pick up that one. All coming out from HP on the Gnar. If he's gonna be there, he is taking quite a bit of tower shots here. Consume is not up for Geeky Raven here. HP being able to do so much damage, and fight may have looked close, but that was a lot of tower damage going on to that Gnar.
No, the Gnar was just tanking the tower damage. I actually almost really, I feel like if Cho'Gath did have his consumption, I think that Gnar would not have been standing there any longer.
Praxis is bot lane again.
Yeah, he looks like
I
he's
like how
looking for another lane
proactive
gank.
Schwab is. And I'm glad Gunther is taking this chance to go invade onto the top side here. Get some vision down, but looks like Gunther is just gonna go for it here. Looking for something onto Rev here. He's end up going to fall down here. Boys could be next target. Flash coming out. Syndicus to ill to stun him under the tower. 10 minutes again, a lot of damage coming out. One more E should be enough as the chill passive is there. Ooh, it's really cold down into mid lane because there is Chili on the Nivea. HP could be the next target here. He's going to turn into Mega Knot. He doesn't have the ultimate. He's going to be able to pick that one up. Teleport coming out from Chili here. Not even needed. And he's taking a lot of turn shots, 3 in total. And it's not even going to be enough for Geeky Raven to feel remotely
Ooh.
safe to try to pick up that one. And
To
second
be honest, him taking the tower shot doesn't matter because he has a Nivea passive. So if he does take the tower shot, he just turns into an egg, and then he just, is still alive.
Solo playing goes over to Ace Tactics too. He's 3-0. Yeah, he's up about 2k gold from Poison Lid, so he's well ahead.
I kind of expect this was gonna happen, as you said in the draft. DOV just has no comp. They can't do anything with the comp they have. As you can see, Hecarim has been bought twice. Udyr has tried to do ganks, but as you can see, Udyr can't do the ganks.
And he's doing gank on the one lane that's hardest to gank and the one lane that has the most potential to 1v2.
So I feel like he needs to rethink his ganking. He needs to rethink exactly where he needs to go. I would say at this moment, either you focus bot lane or you focus mid lane. But both those lanes, you just need to focus. You need to just leave Cho'Gath by himself. Let him scale by himself, because he's already has not already has 3 kills.
And coming up from HP there, the O is gonna send right into the wall, jump right on top of him. Do quite a bit of damage there. And Tommy got to be really careful here. Another good wall from Chili, and here comes the onslaught of shadows. Chili's now on a killing spree here. I mean, Tommy, I'm glad you saved your summoners. I'm glad you had the restraint to do it. I'm sorry that this game is happening to you. You cannot do anything, man.
Oh,
And Gigi Raven tried to do as much as possible, as much damage as possible to HP here, but I mean, Nar showing why this is such a good matchup for him here.
well, if you didn't realize, Nar also instead of bringing his normal PTA, he brought Fleet Footwork. So he's looking for that long drawn out fights like he wants.
Yeah, he's legit playing like he was playing that knowing he was gonna win, but just in case we did end up losing or get focused, he had the fleet for the sustain here. And we're taking a lot of damage from this Kraken Slayer. Since Ace Tactics already has that up 15 minutes in, Gigi Raven trying to get a rupture off here, but
And it looks like
Ash
Ash
they
is
may
gonna go
find
to
practice
Shield
caught out here. They see Gunther here. He's gonna go on to practice here. I don't think they knew where it was. Body slam is there. They're gonna be able to find it. Ace Tactics on a rampage. Way too easy as Shalom Esports gets a free play on bot. Looking to dive on bot 2 here. Looks like first set's gonna go on to Shalom here, and John is staying way too long on that one. Looks like Poison had the right idea on that one, and it is going to be a 2-for-0 play. They also get first turret on the top, and they get a second turret, because why not on the bottom?
Yeah, it already looking like this game is already gonna be over. It's
It's
0 to 12 with almost.
Oh, the barrier is going to be used. The stun is not going to land. Tommy, be really careful. A flash art coming out. He's going to take the tower. It doesn't even matter if it kills it because he has egg up, and it's not even going to pop it.
Chili has not used his Anivia passive at all.
Not a single. This could be a perfect game for Shalom Esports.
Has
There's
it been a
been
perfect game like this before?
no kills, no towers. I don't believe so. They're looking for something on web here. So have to be really careful. Doesn't end up using the flash. The blast cone do safety. I don't know how that controller doesn't see that wood there that's right next to wed, but small victories for DOV, I guess. And I mean, Shalom Esports is setting up a tent inside the opponent's jungle, and that's just such a feels bad.
Well, one of the things about Udyr, it's really easy to evade of Udyr.
Oh!
Oh, and looks like we have a
My
pause.
goodness, what a horrible time to pause. HP looked like he knew something was up into the top side here, walks into the bush and finds Geeky Raven almost getting the recall off there. And I mean, not a good spot for Geeky Raven to be in. HP has the ultimate, has the Narvage coming up, has flash. Geeky does have flash too, but I mean, he
Well, he
doesn't even
also
has
has,
his mythic item.
Well, don't forget, Cho'Gath does have his R too, so Cho'Gath could just eat Nar quickly.
I don't think he would have the damage, especially since HB has Triforce, yeah.
That is true.
And
I
Book
do
Trance on
agree.
top of that with the cloth armor, Ruby Crystal. I mean,
So, how do you think DOV can come back from this?
I mean, I I don't want to be the
I
bearer of bad news, but it's it's more than a 10k gold difference. There's
Mhm.
two dragons difference, two tower difference, 13 kill difference.
And
I mean,
it's not like just one person has all the kills. The entire Slum Esports literally has.
it's spread out. It's spread out, yeah. And the highest KP is to the one person carry wise that does it, and that's the Hecklam. But Hecklam
Mhm.
has to find Sando. He's already as strong as he needs to be.
What do you do with the Ash build? I don't agree with the building a Mortal Shield Bell on Ash. Like,
I mean, you're already doing like no damage. Surviving like maybe a half second longer in team fights isn't really gonna do much for you. And looks like the pause is gonna be coming out here. HP gonna go onto Geeky Raven here. Left is gonna be used. He's gonna be silenced, but an Armor is there. He's gonna get the stun off. No, he won't, because the flash from Geeky Raven. Oh, really good jump over the Rupture Kid is just trying to do as much damage as possible. Stun is gonna be out here. One, two autos is going to be used. Q, throw the boulder into the Cho'Gath here. He is now sleeping with the fishes there, and looks like Tommy gonna be able to spot out the Hecklam from recalling you. And Chili could have probably went for the kill there, but he was too focused on the wood. And Praxis BMing here. He knows nothing Tommy can really do. If he walks up too far, he'll end up just dying to Chili. Chili does have the Leandros here, and it's pretty close to finishing out that tier. All
you
of
have
those
to
tiers
you
from
have
his
to get
opponents here, and Poison maybe looking for something onto Praxis here. Praxis gonna use Onslaught of Shadows, make sure they did not give the first kill over to. Oh, wait, Shady Crystal Arrow
Ash
going to be
Ash
used,
is
not going to land. But I mean, one thing I do gotta say, that Shady Crystal Arrow lands, what do you do? And that's like the
you
issue.
can't engage on them because as
Yeah.
soon as you engage on them, they're just gonna engage on you, and then you're just gonna get, you're just gonna collapse on it, and you're just all gonna die. It looks like Udyr is in top side. He is trying to get a tower, so maybe
Oh
this is
my
gonna be their
goodness,
first tower.
that's a tank. But then again, that tank built full armor into the Gnar lane, and now he's being introduced to Anivia into the mid lane that is currently 4-0. Half his HP is going to be gone there.
So
And
it looks like their perfect game is no
perfect
longer
game is
Udyr.
no more. No one answered top. That such a feels bad. Good's going to be able to pick up that one. And looks like the Dragon is going to go over to Shlom Esports. Odeon Soul Point, not even 20 minutes in. But we have to be really careful here. He's both pitching on both sides here. The W's going to come out. He doesn't have flash. He doesn't have just, but not going to matter. Poison's going to be our flash from the Velvet. There comes the Immortal Shield, but look, he survived for a half second longer, but Sun ends up falling, and Geeky Man could be the target, is going to be just
Did he just
absolutely destroyed there from the Anivia. And I mean, there's not much you can really do. Tommy looking to see if he cannot kill this Shelly, and he will not be able to get it there. And looks like it is going to be continued going down mid lane. TP coming out from HP to make sure Duke cannot get any more towers.
You didn't see it. So Gnar jumped on the Cho'Gath to kill the Cho'Gath.
Oh, did he actually? I
Yeah,
actually did not.
he killed Cho'Gath despite jumping.
Nothing personnel, kid.
So, like that's just insane. So like I feel like I feel like they DOV can they could have won this game if they played around their carries, which was either bot or mid. But I feel like Udyr was focusing way too much on Cho'Gath, trying to get the Cho'Gath ahead. Yeah, that would have been good. You would have your front line better. You would have, been able to.
HP gonna find Web here doing a lot of damage. That's after HP already has to jump just in case. One more auto, not gonna be able to find it. He's not gonna go into Geeky Raven here, and even with all that, Tentacle Zero is going to lamp. It's gonna be stun for stun here. TP coming out from Chili here. This may be the first step. We'll have to see. Flash coming out there. Lucas a lot of damage. What is this? Poison Lich is stuck into the wall, and triple kill goes over the Chili here. As he's looking for 4 here, and he will not be able to get it. Web gonna be able to pick up that extra 20 gold from the tornado there, but I mean,
Happy
that was
birthday
a
to Chili. He is happy.
2v5, and they won it outright.
And so Slum Esports wants to get this game to Chili for his birthday.
He deserves it, man, as he is just going up a storm. You can feel the chilliness here from the caster desk as, I mean, they're able to 2-man ban 20 minutes into the game. It's a kill a minute on a single team. This is such not a good game, but they're going to be really careful. You don't want to give a kill over. You really don't want to break, the no kills going up to DOV. I mean, that's pretty much all Shlom is playing at this point. Not even playing the win, they're playing to make sure the DOV dislikes.
Well, Slime Esports, if you look at it, they had 700 bounties.
That's 3k gold. That is like about 12 kills or so of gold.
If the Udyr could get that,
Probably more
or
than
the
12
Ash could
actually.
get that, I feel like that would maybe change the title of the game. Maybe.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's over a 10k. It's about a 17 or so k difference. I mean, it's not looking good for DOV.
No,
It's only a matter of time. They have the Baron. It's 2 minutes left until Dragon Soul comes up, and that's just gonna make them even harder to kill since it's Mountain Soul. They're about to lose Inhibitor in mid lane. They're running a 1-3-1. Praxis is heading down into mid lane. You know, Chili's playing a scaling champion that got super fed and is now, you know, you go even on a scaling champion, maybe you become strong like 30 minutes into the game. And oh my goodness, Ace
John, you
Tactor.
do not need to walk up like that.
So they're gonna go into Geeky Raven here, and Shogun does not have himself yet quite yet, and Geeky is trying to do as much damage as possible, looking for the first kill. Can they find it on Chili? I mean, it doesn't even matter if you're able to pick it up. He still has the Agnivia, and it looks like it is going to be a kill going over the Ace Tactics. Harness Buck used from Tommy to do as much damage as possible, but it doesn't matter. It's kill a minute for Slam Esports alone.
Yeah, they're DOV's trying the hardest, but like you said, this game was over in draft. DOV did not have a good draft. It seemed like they didn't really know what to do, how they do their game plan. I feel like this is definitely going to be game right now. I feel like
they have to go for a kill. Yeah, they have to try to go for a kill, but Slam Esports not even giving them a chance. Aside from that tower, Slam Esports had a perfect game.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I feel like DOV needs to, you know, go back to the drawing board, go back, rethink their plan, rethink their draft before the start of the next game, because
that was just
that was just a disaster.
That was not good for them at all. DOV just that's definitely not a feels good. I mean, not even getting a kill. I mean, you get one tower, but that was mostly to the fact that I don't even think Shlom could have answered that top lane, but they're like, I don't even want to do it because it's not fun. They weren't even playing for competitive. They was just playing for fun.
Nard did 21,000 damage that game. 21,000.
Yeah. Chili almost 16,000. Ace Tactics relatively did not do that much. But then again, I mean, the game was such a big of a stomp. It was only a 23-minute game, so
just by the pure damage of just Gnar itself, I feel like they need to I feel like the Udyr needs to, well, not the Udyr, well, a Goose needs to rethink his path style, rethink his ganking style, because him focusing top like that, you just kept on feeding the Gnar. You just kept on giving Gnar more and more kills. And you're just letting your bot lane just bleed more CS, bleed more, you know, more kills into the Kaisa, which kind of like, and all through the game.
yeah, it was definitely not a good look for DOV. I mean, they did come into 0-2. Schlam was 2-0. I mean, they still have a chance to come back from this. It's really, I mean, I wish I could say something that was good about DOV this game, but I feel like all the things that didn't happen weren't because DOV planned it that way, but it was mostly because Schlom didn't, you know, take the initiative. Like bot lane, I don't think it was more or less DOV did it, you know, they did okay against the composition, but in general, I think it was more of less Schlom Esports not going in for the kill. They weren't going in for the jugular. So I mean, in general, I think that was mostly Schlom not playing as aggro because, like I said, I think they're mostly playing for fun at a certain point and, you know, playing for competitive. But I mean, DOV, you still have a chance for this next game. It is a best of 3 series, and I really hope that you're able to bring something out spicy for us. But that's the last thing I have to say for this game. If you have anything else, Wolven?
No, I just hope that they, you know, they come in with a better draft plan. They come in with an actual like competitive team comp plan instead of, kind of picking champions they think would work well. Because as you can see, you can pick champions that you're comfortable with, but if it's not a good comp, you're just gonna get rolled over.
Yeah, definitely. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the first game between Flam Esports and DOV. We're gonna go to a short break and then we'll be right back for draft game 2.
Went out tonight just to have a good time. I tried to distract myself from thinking too much, but when I saw you, I went back to the start. Whoa, and there's just no resisting when I see your face. Can't stop myself from moving your way. There must be a reason we end up at the same place at the same time. It happens every time when we're around. We always see each other.
It's your opportunity to come back from.
Our friends just roll their eyes and say, "Here we go again." The story never ends.
Okay. Welcome back to our little analyst test that we do have set up here. So, well, I mean, it was pretty expected, but our birthday boy, man of the hour, Mr. Chili here takes home player of the night for game 1. And I think he did put up an amazing performance, going 7-0-2, deathless, even without proccing the Anivia pass a single time during the game. And hey, I can't say much other than the fact that he played the lane incredibly well. He was able to space his spells out very well. Mana consumption was really good, and his roams were just on point. He was able to be there when the team needed him, top lane, bot lane, wherever, just keeping his team alive, just being there when he was needed. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think it would have been nearly as close. He was just able to shred through the Cho'Gath, who was building full armor. If he didn't have that, little bit of extra umph in his kit without any of those items, it just wouldn't have been possible, and it would be a little bit more difficult for that Anivia to take over the game like he was able to. Other than that, though, I think Chili definitely deserved player of the game. He was able to output the damage on the Anivia. We have seen a couple Anivias falter, but where they faltered, Chili stood tall, and he performed on his birthday. He was able to show us what he has, and just play really well. I can't really say anything more, and he just did a really good job, and wish him the best. Any comments about what happened last game before we do get into
Chili
it?
got the birthday buff.
Birthday buff, true. Can't really.
He got the birthday buff.
The birthday powers.
I definitely think every single member of Shlam Esports was able to play incredibly well. The Rel pick, the Kaisa, every single member just played insanely well. And there are no criticisms really about how they played. I think they played the game well. They were able to farm. Every single lane had a CS lead by the end, about maybe 30 or 40 each. They all had gold leads, every single one of them spaced properly, and I mean they didn't die a single time, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, they all had a perfect game. They did not die. They only lost one tower, and that was the top tower.
Mm-hmm.
And now that every member of Shlam Esports could also say they had a perfect game this season.
True. I mean, I think the other player that was exceptional in my eyes was the jungler, Mr. Praxis. Just there when his team needed him. Those bot lane ganks were incredibly powerful to help catalyze the Kaisa getting really strong and helping the Rel with some setup CC to make sure she was able to land hers. And also being there in the mid lane, helping Mr. Chili himself blow some sums or even just get a couple kills, being there top lane. He was just everywhere he needed to be and was able to keep up in CS as well.
Yeah, those sums are really sacred for Tommy. He does not want to use those
I
sums.
think Tavi was a
Yeah,
little
he
gready
was-
with the
He
summoner
was, but
holding.
it paid off.
It did pay off. It did pay off.
He
But
never died when he didn't use them.
But the
He
problem
only
is-
died when he did use them.
when he did use them, he was already too far behind. I think it would have been better to use his summoners to preserve like his health or his mana. And every time he didn't use a summoner, he did give up something in return, and that usually meant him having to base and losing out on lane pressure. Against Nivea, Lux does have that range advantage, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to use that because he was unable to use unwilling to use his summoners to protect himself. Summoners are a timer, right? You have to use them to protect yourself to make sure you're able to do what you need to do. And because he didn't hold on to the summoners, he just wasn't able to stay in lane as long as he needed to. I think blowing flash is a lot more. Using that flash, especially in the early game, is a little more worthwhile to keep yourself in lane just that bit longer, because he was already very behind because he had to flash and base right away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it when it comes to somebody you suggest. Just because you didn't use them doesn't necessarily mean that it was the best play. But because he didn't have TP, he was not able to come back into the lane and to not lose as much CS as he did. So because he didn't have TP and he didn't even really use the summoners he did have too often either, he just pretty much lost out on a lot of CS, lost out on a lot of opportunities, and
Exactly.
ended up coming back and kind of screwing him over.
And I think
Yeah,
that's an
no,
issue. Yeah.
I feel like if you're not going to use barrier, there's no point of bringing barrier. Like if you're not going to use your summoners as much, just bring TP so you can just reposition yourself back in the lane.
Summoners
don't lose.
aside, though, I do believe that the biggest issue was draft. But we are about to head into the next draft, so let's get right into that.
DOV. Don't disappoint me again.
Yes, I definitely do think if they are able to overcome the draft issues that they did have, it will be a lot closer of a game. I definitely think they
Oh,
did not have
they're
the
starting
identity
the
they
draft
needed,
right
but
now.
they are starting, so we'll be right back.
All right. Let's see here.
The
This
first
looks-
ban is Seraphine.
Yep,
I mean,
Seraphine immediately
Slimy
out,
Sports.
and DOV immediately getting rid of it. No, I do not blame him at all for
Yeah,
that.
Rel was a really, really good engaged champion for Slime Esports. She just could just went in there, stun, and then she just press R. And then, because a lot of people are like, oh, you can outrun Rel's, Rel's R. I was like, yeah, you can, but that slow that she gets from it is insane.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely good ban for them. The Hekrum's gonna be gone. I mean,
So
do we see a
Force of the
triple
Horses.
ban coming out of the previous comp that Shlom ran? And Shlom just keeping the exact same bans. They're like, we're good over here. We have the bans we want. They worked out pretty well. We all went perfect in our last game. We're looking to do it again.
No, you think you're gonna ban the Nar?
That would be real best. Actually, they theoretically can't even ban the Gnar because they lose a ban because Geeky Raven is an E-sub. I guess, or not. I guess they should lose a ban in all their games if I remember correctly. I might have to get a rule check on that, but for now they are going to go ahead and ban Olaf here. They do lose a ban every game. All right. Quick 1 second. I'm gonna go ahead and tell this.
Oh, it looks like Slime Esports is first picking the Nar.
I mean, if they lose their second round bans, I'm totally fine with that. That's totally up to the other team if they are fine with that. Mm-hmm. Sean Esports gonna go ahead and pick up the Gnar, and it's gonna be the Anivia taken away from Chili. Chili not gonna be able to pick up that one, and Thresh immediately gonna go to Red Hippo here. See what Shalom has an answer here. And I mean, the Pyro pick Gnar, I mean, I'm fine with that because you don't want to give it to Kiki Raven. You showed that you were so strong on it. Gnar doesn't have too many hard matchups. Shalom Esports picking their solo laners first. Whoa! Slow it down. I mean, it makes sense since they already picked a mid laner, but this is like such. All right. Okay, then yeah, that's fine. But wow, that just surprises me. Two solo laners. First two picks.
And they pick up the Caitlyn too, so they're not even gonna pick up the support yet.
Yep, they're keeping the support, hot and ready, and Kai'Sa's gonna be picked up here. And
What do you think it's gonna be?
I mean, Morgana would be really good here. Morgana, Caitlyn, very strong. If I did not see DOV ban this Morgana, unless Shalom Esports support Shogun does not play it, they need to ban the Morgana because not only is Morgana very good into Thresh, Anivia, and even into Kai'Sa, it is super strong with Caitlyn.
Yeah, no, I do agree. If I feel like they need to either ban both, because they lose the ban, right?
No.
They don't? Okay.
Gigi Raven is on the sub roster. He just, because of the such late notice that they lost the ban only in the first game, so they are good with all 5 bans this draft.
Oh, it looks like they're banning the random.
Thank you that you banned Morgana. Thank you, DOV. You already have surpassed the expectations from the last draft.
So so DOV's comp looking 10 times better than last game.
Oh yes, like 100 times better. They seem like they have a lot of
Slime Esports looks like they have a lockdown comp.
Yeah, Salami Esports have a really good lockdown. So far, the team fight is looking pretty okay. They still have the support in the jungle. They can take care of DOV. Gonna go ahead and take out the Kazakhs. Good take out that carry champion away that can just absolutely snowball games. Hekrum's already gone, so is the Olaf here. We're gonna have to see what is gonna go on here. The Salami Esports still has one final ban here. It can only go into the jungle or to the top lane here. Do love the Rammus ban though. Rammus ban definitely really good here, and the Udyr bans are going to be coming out here.
Which is interesting to ban the Udyr, because like I wouldn't mind if DOV one of the Udyr again, because like Udyr doesn't really go with their comp.
Yeah, Udyr definitely does seem like he would struggle a little bit, but in general, with an Anivia comp, you can make a lot of things work here. DOV still have to pick either the jungle or the top here. Top is going to be picked up here, which is a smarter decision since top is going to be shown. It is maybe going to be the Volibear. They're hovering it, not quite locking it in quite yet.
Volibears are really strong.
And they're going to go for the Maokai. Okay. So they opted to go for the Maokai. So a little less kill threat in the lane, but still not a horrible matchup. Into the Nara does have a little bit of lockdown, does make ganking easier since lockdown is definitely so guaranteed. Plus, just to stay in lane, can match Nara's poke, and on top of that, really good team fighting. But Swami's looking for the Nautilus.
DOV has a really strong team fight. They have the Maokai R, they have the Thresh R, and then they have the Anivia R on top of all that. And then they have Kai'Sa who can just go in and just delete people. And then there's another Yeet coming out in the LAS.
Oh my god! So that is what I like to see!
Second Yeet. Actually, I have to say, Yeet into DOV is a really good pick into DOV's comp. They're just a bunch of squishies.
DOV has quite a bit of CC, but a lot of their CC is how would I say? Let's see, you have a Niviar, doesn't matter with E. You have Thresh E and R. Doesn't really matter too much E. You have Zinzao knockup and Anivia stun and Thresh Rook that are like hard CC. All of those CC are easily dodgeable by Alpha. So as long as you have at least a little bit of a reaction time, like you don't even need that much. You can actually dodge out a lot.
The Taric R that benefits the Yeet.
Yep, definitely a lot of seems like you'd think it would be funneling when you see the Taric and Yi, but nope, it's not funneling, it's straight up normal comp here. I mean, DOV's comp is 100 times better than what they had last game. They actually have a chance to win this one. Dlam Esports look like they were just playing to like just win. that seems like their 100% goal here. Like they didn't dwell too much into like playing the draft too safe. No, they just threw everything to the wall, and they're gonna see what sticks, and we're gonna figure that out together here, as we're actually gonna see what sticks here tonight.
I feel like most of the we're gonna see most of the action. I feel like most of the action is going to either be in the bot lane or in the mid lane. I feel like I'm kind of hyped to see the Nivea versus Victor comp because both champions want to lock you down in their CC. They want to stun you, and they're both really good heavy like poke champs.
Yeah. So I'm really happy because we see the Yi doesn't come out too much in competitive play. We also see the Zinzao also doesn't come out too much in competitive play. So definitely two spicy picks coming out in this one game. I'm glad Chili got the victor. He showed up so strong on a scaling champion and got ahead early. So how about someone that has the initiation to get himself ahead and snowball lead himself? So Victor definitely has that prowess, and we'll see if Chili can do just as good, if not better, as he did in Nivea. And now he's facing the Nivea.
How do you think the bot lane matchup's gonna go? Caitlyn Taric versus Kai'Sa Thresh. I feel like that's gonna be
I think that's a very volatile matchup.
It's gonna be a slow bot lane. I feel like they both are just looking to build up the CS, build up the just keep on farming, keep on gaining levels and items. I don't really see both of them can really go on each other and kill each other.
Both have kill threat on each other. Both like one lane doesn't really have too much of an advantage over the other lane. Just the fact that Caitlyn does have such big base attack range.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a volatile bot lane matchup, but you don't see too much of those. It's whoever gets a lead pretty much can snowball off it and stuff.
So yeah, so I do agree. I feel like this game is gonna be really spicy to watch. Both teams have a really good chance of winning. I am surprised that DOV did let the Gnar go through. They seen what HBB can do on Gnar. So I'm kind of excited to see Gnar in Slime Esports hands again.
Oh yeah, I'm really happy to see what HBB can pull out. Yeah, I'm also really looking towards Praxis on this one, I'd say former Yi main in general, I hope they see something good from Praxis here. And there's so many builds you can go in this season. There's a lot.
I think if for this comp, what would you go? Would you go the Kraken Slayer build, or would you go the Dustblade build?
I mean, I feel like both have their pros and cons. You don't necessarily need Kraken Slayer this game. I mean, they're a squishy comp. Anivia, Kaisa, Zinzao, relatively squishy. And I mean, as long as you can stay alive in the comp, get a kill, go invisible, get another kill, then the rest all up pretty easily. Caitlyn can play safe. Tark can give you that initial survivability to get the Dustblade invisibility, and now just able to set up the team fights really well. And Victor's just gonna do Victor things. Has the ability to kite out, has the ability to sustain himself, has the ability to do a lot of damage himself. So.
And then don't forget about Zinzao too. Zinzao can also displace.
Oh yeah, he can. But like I said, a lot of the hard CC that DOV does have is very easily alpha strike. If that's even a word. Like you can easily buffer out the CC if you can just catch the animations in time and you have something to do too.
If he plays it correctly, he can alpha strike past the Maokai ult, and then as soon as he gets out alpha strike, he just has to auto like a few times, and then as soon as he gets his alpha strike in, and if they try to throw a hook on him, they try to throw a stun on him from a Nivea, he can just alpha strike again, and he can just dodge all the CC pretty easily.
Oh, so he has a Taric R. He has a Cosmic Radiance, so even if he Qs and it dodges one and they get other CC, well, if the Cosmic Radiance goes off in time, then you're even able to kill the Yi. And on top of that, you still have to worry about Caitlyn. She still has a lot of range. You still have to worry about Victor. So definitely a lot of threats. Like Shalom Esports has a lot of threats on their team that is very hard to get to and kill. While DOV has very potent threats, but they're very easy to get onto and they're very easy to kill based on the comp that Shalom Esports has. But they still do have a lot of AoE locked down, which is really good, and they can easily use that to their advantage. And if they get an early game lead here, they can definitely snowball this game.
Yeah, no, I do agree. No, but who do you think is gonna win overall? Do you think it's gonna be Shalom, or do you think it's gonna be DOV?
I'm still putting it to my boy Shalom. I'm giving you my non-biased vote, Chili. Definitely not because it's your birthday.
I'm gonna have to give the birthday vote to Chili. I'm really excited to see him on Victor. I'm really excited to see him on another scaling champion. But it looks like we're gonna go on break soon, and the pools will be open. And don't forget to vote for whatever team you think's gonna win.
Yeah. I mean, I'm putting all my money on Shalom. I'm not a betting guy, so all the points I get on Legends Twitch, I just keep them. I hoard them. They're mine. I will never gain a significant amount, but I will never lose a significant amount. But ladies and gentlemen, the predictions are going to be opening up here, and there's about 25 seconds left into the spectator delay. Do you have anything left, Wolverine?
No, I'll just say I can't wait to see how this game turns out. Both teams have really good comps, and they have really good chances of winning.
Yep, DOV definitely has a stronger chance of winning this game. Shalom Esports looking to solidify the lead into a 3-0 and into an easy 2-0 sweep off of a really dominating. But until then, guys, we're going to go right into a break here. We'll see you then.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be another game of LAS Premade here on the vet side. Not even once again. On the vet side, it's actually the opposite. This time it is going to be DOV, and on the blue side, this time we are gonna have Shalom Esports, and it looks like DOV are gonna go in for a very cheeky invade here. Looks like Shogun actually walked back to base, maybe forgot an item here, so he's not gonna be here for this invade. If they stay here long enough and he walks into that tri-bush, all hell is gonna break loose.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's gonna happen. They're gonna walk past the tri-bush. They're still looking here. The target is going to run into them here, so they have to be really careful. If you hold onto that one, just hold, guys. Hold.
It looks like they.
Oh,
it
they're
looks
gonna be
like
spotted out here. They see the ward, so they know Tark is there. They're gonna be spotted out, all 5 of them together. I know I voted for Shalom Esports. I really wanted that to work with DOV. I really did want it to work. They end up using 3 wards to 2 wards from Shalom Esports. Looks like Shalom Esports are gonna go ahead and go for this invade here. And DOV gotta be really careful because their level 1 is very strong with this Enar. And they don't really have a strong level 1, so if they're gonna check that red buff, Geeky Raven's gonna check that red buff, gotta be really careful. But Goon's gonna start his blue buff here, and his could be Praxis taking up the opposing side's red buff, and Geeky Raven gonna be able to spot it out here, but it was pulled in there. He does know something's up here. The abstract gonna be used. He can smite this if he wants. He might have to be careful as it's gonna reset! Oh no, Praxis! That's not what you want. You beat it too hard for it. He's gonna have to restart it once again. And look, look at Ooh, really good. This is gonna land. He's not quite gonna be there, but look at Zenzal. He's gonna go to the opposing side red buff, and I mean Praxis. You have to kick your after camp. You can't go back to your side. You wasted too much time. Really, that looks like a small misplay, but that's huge.
Yeah, no, it's a huge misplay by Praxis. You waste so much time trying to get that red buff by trying to greed for the kill, and by doing so, now you just gave Prio for DOV's bot side.
Yep, and it looks like it's gonna go for a gank here. They have to be really careful. They are level 2. They are gonna be spotted out here. There's gonna be a flash coming up from Ace Tactics. Shogun is gonna be played up, knocked up. Really good dodge out, but I think it's a really good shield. Quick Flood is still gonna go over the poison here. One more auto is gonna knock up Ace Tactics, but he's gonna heal right out of that one. He's gonna do quite a bit of damage over the Goons, but it's not gonna matter. First Blood is gonna go over to DOV as they desperately needed it after that first game. Looks like they are not gonna be shut out this time around.
Yeah, no, DOV is they're playing a lot better than the last game. I don't understand what happened last game. But I feel like they understood the mistakes. They understand, well, our draft was bad, so let's draft more of a team comp champ, and it's paying off for them because they got a kill on Kaisa, and that's what you want. Now I am confused. Kaisa has PTA. I don't really agree with that, in my opinion. I think Halo Blades is so much better because you want the attack speed for Kaisa.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do think Halo Blades. There was a time where you could switch up between PTA and Halo Blades. Oh wait, hold on. I thought we were gonna have a gank coming into the mid lane here. Chili gonna be using the flash here. There's gonna be a flash coming up from Good to make sure he gets a knock up. It looks like a kill is gonna go over to Tommy here. Really good momentum coming out from DOV here as they're gonna go ahead and start the game 2-0.
Yeah, so again, Zenzao, exactly what you said. The reason why the E that was really bad on the E that have the red reset is because you just lose so much prio to your ganking Pitzentra's E.
Yep.
You gave Zenzao too much leeway to just go in your jungle and just keep on getting really good ganks for his teammates.
That actually did end up helping Gunther a lot here. He ganked both lanes, didn't get a kill in a single one, which is actually benefits his team a lot. Now he has, gold into the mid and to the bot lane, and end up picking up 2 assists, getting quite a bit of amount of gold, not quite a bit of gold.
I just realized Maokai has Relic Shield. Why does Maokai have Relic Shield?
He does have Relic Shield. Yeah. Huh. Oh, well, I mean, hold that thought for a second there. Meta is going to be used. And there's that buffer coming out there. You see quite a bit of damage going on to Praxis here, and it is going to be a trade kill. It is going to be a 1-for-1 going to both mid laners here, and I mean,
But I
Not
feel like
horrible. That's
that
not
benefits
horrible for Schwab
it
because
benefits Nivea a lot because Nivea did get the kill, but it does benefit
look
Swan
at this.
because
Oh,
Victor
hold
got
that
the
thought.
kill.
This is going to land right onto Shogun here. The E is going to be used. It is actually going to land, but the pacemaker is not going to. Sun coming out from the top side from HB. He's going to have to hop out of that one, but
Wait, Maokai, what are you doing? He sold his support item.
yep, he saw the spot him, got double Ruby Crystal, quite a bit of lost gold there, but it looks like HBB gonna be able to walk right out of this one. But oh, he's gonna flash for it, but flash coming out from HB makes you see the live out now. But thing I wanted to say is like, yes, that's another kill going over to Tommy, but look, Chili's still in control of the lane, and look how much CS Chili is up. He is up
True. He's up
20
CS.
CS.
That's
That is
really good for Victor because you want to get as much CS as possible.
He is actually up more gold on Tommy, even though Tommy has an extra kill and a less death. And it looks like they're gonna go for a play here. Let's see if they can't pick up any kills. It's like Kiki Raven could be the target here. Really good W coming out. Upstrike's going to be used. HPP very low on mana. Praxis still looking for stuff here. Gets knocked up under tower. Be really careful here. Because they're gonna go right on him. A really good amount of damage coming out from Goose here. And I mean, that's the stuff that you're gonna see coming out from this Zinzao. Really good that it's going to land. Sun, the heal is gonna come out to Shogun. The Sun's gonna be used, but it's not gonna be able to find a target.
I feel like people forget that Xin Zhao does do a lot of damage if you get on heal. It's still Xin Zhao. Yes, people don't play Xin Zhao a lot. You don't really see Xin Zhao played, but Xin Zhao is the type of champion you don't want on top of you.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what's gonna happen here. I wonder if they're gonna try to end up diving HBB, and it looks like they are posturing for a dive here. Yeah, they're definitely gonna try to go for dive here, but this is gonna go on HBB. See if they can pick up a kill onto Gunther, and I think that might be a trade kill. And yes, it is. Spikes cannon away from his top laner. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 there, and it is. I mean, again, that's still good for Shlom.
Yeah, no, it's good for Swan because you know they got a trade kill, and it's good for DOV because DOV is still keeping their lead.
But again, top lane CS lead over to Shlom. Jungle CS lead over to Shlom. Mid CS lead over to Shlom. The only mid that have a CS lead is bot lane, but it's not even by that much compared to mid and top and jungle from Shlom.
And also, it looks like Maokai is not gonna buy the D shield. He's just gonna opt for the Bramble Cinder, which makes sense.
Looks like it's gonna be a gank coming down into the bot lane. Here's the Stun coming out from web here. He said he's gonna use the heal there. And he is gonna have to be forced to flash. Make sure he gets out of this one alive. There was a gank into mid lane. Really nice dodge out of this instance. And Tommy actually had to use his flash. You know, finally, I know Tommy using a summoner spell is a very rare occurrence, but it did end up happening off screen there, as he no longer does have flash, as Praxis did gank it to the mid lane there. And Meditate's gonna come out from Praxis there. He's got to be really careful. Looks like he's gonna go for a kill onto Tommy here. Getting quite a bit of damage out, but a really good wall to make sure that he cannot pick up that kill without dying. It is going to be the Ignivia passive being proc there. And look at all coming out from HPV. They're getting quite a bit of damage on to Geeky Raven. He's got to be really careful, but he's not going to be able to do enough damage, but doing a lot of poking. Once again, HPV bullying out his top laner. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason
Goose is also running up top, by the way. Looks like he is going to go for a gank here. The ult coming out from Geeky Raven. HPV just going to walk away from this one. He is going to hop right out with flash coming out from Goose there. And that's really good for HPV. He didn't even have to really do anything. He just, you know, stared at them and he got a summoner spell and an ultimate out.
I feel like Goon's kind of he got a little too greedy trying to go for the kill because the way the HDB backed is that he got rooted, but he got rooted under his tower, so he knew that if they tried to tower dive him, that they were gonna get tower shots.
Yep. Ooh, that pink is max range on that ward then, unless he really feels bad. It looks like he's maybe gonna go for a little bit of a solo play here. Gunt again is up here. Gunt is always where he needs to be, but he's always in these lanes absorbing so much XP, even taking some of the CS, and look at the CS difference in jungle, and he's still at top.
Taking a lot of XP from the Maokai, and that's what you not.
And look, HPB looking for something here, and here comes Praxis. Geeky Raven does not have his gap, goes to Praxis, picks up a kill.
And yeah,
and the gold is now even.
And that's exactly what you do not want to do as a jungler. Yes, you want to gank as much as possible, but the problem is you don't want to gank to the point where you're taking so much XP from your solo laners that you put your own laners behind. Because yes, you are getting the kills. Yes, you're getting the CS as a jungler because you are technically a carry jungle because you are Zenzao. But you're putting your Maokai so far behind, and Maokai did not buy Dawn Shield in the beginning. He bought a support item, so he's already behind in gold and XP.
There's a reason why starting items are called starting items. They give more stats than the gold that it actually costs, and it's obviously like that on purpose for game integrity reasons. And it looks like Gunt's looking for something in mid lane. Chili doing so much damage, trying to walk out for more poke, but does not have vision. Praxis is here. He knows he's in there. Gunt's got to be really careful. Aftershock can be used here just in case they want to pick up the kill, and that is going to be a kill going over. He is going to get the reset off from his passive there. He just needs to get an Alpha Strike off, and he will, and another kill goes over. Double kill going over to Praxis here. And Geeky Raven could be the next target here. He has no actually does have flash. This ends up flashing out of that one, but the are going to be changed up from HPV to Highlander, going to use Alpha Strike. Is there one more auto, and it is going to go on to Praxis. Praxis is now on a rampage, and the gold lead is now over to Shlom, even though they're even on kills.
That's exactly what you said about Alpha Strike. He, as you saw, the Maokai tried to R, but you could just Alpha Strike right past his R.
He actually didn't even need the Alpha Strike passes, or HPB was able to tank it up. He just
True.
face tanked it and was able to, run him down with the Highlander, but then it's still the whole thing that it's really hard to lock down Slam Esports. Yes, there's a lot of lockdown coming up in DOV, but they have a lot of ways to make sure that, the lockdown doesn't matter.
I feel like for DOV the comeback in this game for them to get ahead is that they need to focus Kaisa. They need to get Kaisa as far ahead as possible. She already has about almost 10, 11 CS ahead of her opponent.
Like going on here, a lot of bit of damage on Kiki Raven once again here. Actually, Praxis is gonna be stunned up here. Gotta be really careful. He's gonna Alpha Strike over the wall, do quite a bit of damage here. You have to be really careful. Ignite is gonna go off here. There's gonna be a trade kill. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 here.
He has Ignite, not Flash.
Ooh, good. That's gonna be spotted out into the opposing jungle there. He's gonna use his either. The R is there. He's gonna be able to save quite a lot because with the A-Stat, just gonna be able to pick up that kill all into the wall. He's doing a lot of damage here. Not gonna be able to pick up the kill on Geeky Raven, but still a really good swing of momentum for Shlom Esports, especially after that early game.
So I don't think you noticed, but he has Ignite. He
Yeah.
doesn't have Flash.
I mean, that's a classic thing for someone like him. He already has so much gap closing ability with this Alpha Strike and mobility with this Highlander, so he doesn't necessarily need the Flash. Flash obviously feels good. You need to be positioned, but like there, the Dust Breed is going to be picked up for Praxis there. Definitely a better idea into this team comp, like I said, than the Kraken Slayer, so I'm really glad he's able to pick that one up. And I mean, he has the Dusk Blade. I mean, the game is really hard at this point.
Yeah, no, like I said before, I really think that DOV needs to take a step back. They need to, reevaluate, look at the map, look at where everyone's at, get vision. You need to get vision at, and stop focusing topside so much. Yes, because since you already because if you look at the CS difference between Maokai and Nar.
Yeah, it's
And that was because Zenzao just was kept on stepping in his lane and kept on taking his CS and XP. He put his Maokai so far behind that Maokai it's gonna take forever to get back into the game. And that's
looks like a Clarify going to the bot lane and Insta Flash coming out from the thresh. A lot of damage going to go on to Poison here. Cosmic Radiance is going to be used, but Praxis is going way too far forward. Because it could be the next target. A-Tag has actually picked up a kill on Poison here, and HCC looking for a kill into the top lane here. Really good stun coming out from Shogun here. Other Flash going to come out from Goons here. Goons taking a lot of damage from Shogun himself. There, a really good chop is going to be there from earlier. A-Tag is going to be able to pick up that one. And overall, worth going over to Shlom Esports as they get that fight 1-for-3 or 3-for-1.
That was a really nice engage by Shlom Esports. They used the Taric art to engage with the ESE died in the process, but they just gave their Caitlyn 2 more kills, which is putting Caitlyn super far ahead of the Kaisa.
It's actually that's not necessarily true. If you look at the gold, Kaisa is still up in gold by around 300 gold.
Right.
Yeah, she's still up about 300 gold. She does have about that 20 CS lead plus, about the same build.
I thought Zenzel had a bounty on him. That was my bad.
Zenzao, I mean, in general, Tommy and Guntz, they had a really good early game lead and they just threw it away. And Poison looking to do the exact same thing here as he's going to be caught out. He's going to be stunned up. Praxis Looking for a kill here. The supercharge could be used. TP coming out from Chili here. Looks like he might be good in that one, but the spike coming out second amount. Look at that damage. And Prax is going to be able to pick up that one.
No, I do have to say, the enemy bot lane, like the Thresh had a really good freeze. The Thresh is trying his hardest to keep his Kai'Sa alive. I just feel like their positioning.
Oh no, there's going to be a lot of damage going to go on to Tommy here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. A flash coming out there to Q. He's going to walk out of that one. It's going to be a flash trade, and Tommy, I mean, okay.
This is doing a lot of damage though.
He is. The one thing that bothers me about Tommy is that he went Ignite. And the only reason why you go Ignite is if you're expecting to A, get a lead, and B, able to keep that lead. And he got a lead, but he didn't get a lead off his own. It was because of Goon. And he ended up throwing that lead away, and that makes Ignite. You just might as well just go either TP
or even barrier again.
Or barrier, yeah. And looks like a lot of them again. Upside going to be used, and that is going to go ahead and reset the passive Deathblade there. And I mean, that's pretty much
exactly what you said about bringing Deathblade on Yi. It's because if you saw that Yi was invisible, so Anivia didn't know exactly where Yi was at. So that's why Anivia tried her hardest to get it out as quickly as possible. Tommy tried to get out of there, but since Yi was invisible, he just didn't know when Yi was gonna pop up again. And that's why Deathblade is really strong on Yi.
He Raven looking for a play here, but it looks like he's gonna fall down. One more auto, two more actually, an HPB on a killing spree here. And I mean,
again, I don't understand why Zenzao spends so much time top lane. He put his poor Maokai so far behind.
Both games he did. Yes, he ganked bot and he ganked mid. Off the mistake yeah, but that was off the mistake of mostly Praxis by not getting the red buff. Excuse me. Ooh, Flash are gonna be coming out here. Look for the stun. It's gonna be a double stun coming out. Praxis on his way, but I don't even think he's needed to be there, but maybe there's a lot of damage coming out there. Now Praxis gonna be used. Praxis now on a rampage. Chili not looking for a kill. On to Tommy, a really good silence coming out from the ultimate there, and it's a lot of damage coming out, and Shirley has the birthday buff here as he's just out CS, out damaging, and just outplaying both of these games here.
Chili is showing that he's like, it's my birthday, I want to run this lane. Yeah, you were beating me in the early game, but I got this.
Yeah, Chili definitely in mid laner to look at in the LAS Premade is just showing up, and I've seen this guy before actually. Last split, and even then he looked really strong, so definitely not disappointing here. And Kiki Raven gonna be found out here by HPB, and here comes Praxis. It's just not fair at this point. He's gonna be flagged. Outside gonna follow through. Praxis is unstoppable. Oh no, this is not the situation you want to be in at all. He's almost getting Flame Horizon by HPB, and he's actually getting Flame Horizon by Chill.
If you saw that.
Yeah, if you went to find Slender this game, I think it's a lot better. He's not dueling as much, especially since Gunt was up into the top lane, so he was mostly playing conservative, so to find Slender.
How do you feel about the Gale Force on
Caitlyn? Good for repositioning, but I mean, Caitlyn already lacks damage in team fights anyway. I do think Kraken Slayer is good, and you're able to greed for the Kraken Slayer anyway because you do have the extra, 650 range. Caitlyn already has a gap closing ability and a pro E. So as long as you can position correctly and just put yourself in stupid situations, you don't even need the Gale Force. I mean, Caitlyn was S+ without it in season 10 for a reason, and season 9.
That is true. I do agree with that. And I feel like with the Caitlyn buff too, you gain 3.3 damage per level, and I feel like that's really beneficial to Kraken Slayer because you don't get nearly as much attack speed either because the Mythic passive. Also, Caitlyn doesn't really need the Mythic speed. She needs the attack speed.
Yeah,
she has a bunch of ways to get out because she can use her net and she can, put down her traps.
There was a reason why Lethal would hold that thought here. Flash coming out from Shogun. You see if we can pick up a kill onto Tommy. Praxis is out far behind. Look to mid bot lane. Oh my goodness, that damage. Flash coming out. I'm trying to make sure you stay alive. He's down a killing spree. Head back to the top side. It looks like Praxis is going to be able to pick up that kill. Kiki Raven's going to be the next target. Double kill going to go over to Chili. Happy birthday to him. as he's going to be able to pick up 2 more for himself there. Ace Snow is going to be used. Really good block coming out from Poison. I see enough of that being messed up in solo queue, but not here today, and it's going to be bot second queue going over to Shlami's.
Which is really good beneficial. And I also saw in chat, and I do agree, Gale Force is really good with Tark because of Tark C. Because you could just Gale Force and Tark E at the same time.
That's true, but
which is really good.
at the same time, if you're walking that close with Tarky on Caitlyn, I think you're just playing Caitlyn. Unless you're like playing super far up and super aggressive because you are so far ahead, which theoretically, Slam Esports is super far ahead. However, their comp also punishes if you are too far up. So I don't necessarily think it's a good thing for you to be that far up, and it's exactly what I was talking about. Get punished if you're too far up. Really good Destin's gonna land a box. He's gonna be using exhaust. It's also there. Killer Instinct is there, and the Lantern is also there, and that's exactly what I just said. 2 kills are gonna go over the DOV.
One 700 bounty, and then another 400 bounty going straight to the Zenzel's pockets. And that's, you do not want to see that if you're on Sonic Sports right now. Oh, looks like they're going in for another fight. Looks like
Yep, Praxis looking for a kill there. He's going to be able to pick up that one. Actually, Ace Tactics instead here. Shutdown's actually going to go over to Poison. Your Flash coming out there looking for Ace Tactics as much as possible. Ace Tactics doing as much damage as possible. Again, really good dodge out there. Aggressive Flash is going to be used. Good thing to be the next target. Pacemaker is there, and here comes Chili. Ooh, I can feel it here. It's Chili in my studio as he's going to be able to pick up that kill. 2 kills going to go over to Chili once again here in the mid lane.
Caitlyn was 1v3 by herself. That was insane. And she did it because she had Flash and she had Gale Force to reposition herself.
Yep. Definitely there.
Exactly what you said. Gale Force is really good for repositioning, and that right there shows how good Gale Force can be done, because she Gale Force out of the Nivea R, and then she Flash away from Zenzel, so Zenzel could not get on top of her.
Yep, definitely being able to do a lot of aggressive plays. They are just so damn ahead at this point here. They're gonna try to take this Baron. Looks like they're looking to wear purple here. Malachi's on his way. Kiki Raven, I don't think there's much he can really do here. Praxis is not here. They have the smite here. It shouldn't really be a 50-50 or even a 90-10. Should be 100% over Schwam. That's exactly what's going to happen. Kiki Raven looking for the R here, and Alpha Strike is going to be used. Luka doesn't going to be there, but if he can get that kill, he's going to go invisible. It's going to be on the front line there, trying to do as much as he can. That's going to land onto Shogun here. Look, if he's going to fall off here. Ace Snow is going to be used. Double kill will actually make that a quadra kill. Going to go over to Praxis here. Who stole the Penta? Who was it?
Who was? I think it was Victor. Victor stole the Penta.
Chili
stole. Okay, I can give it to Chili.
No. Chili didn't steal Praxis Penta. Praxis stole Chili's Penta. He was only 4 kills away.
That is true. But it looks like Slam Esports is looking to end the game, looking to put it into the series.
Yep, 28 kills up ahead against Ed with 6 towers, but the spawn timers are low enough that they could look for a counterattack here. There's going to be all members up, 5v5 here, actually 5v4 since Shogun is back at the base. HVP so aggressively up, a lot of damage going on to Goons here, but he can just walk right back to his fountain and heal up like there's no issue. Shogun is still on his way, Chili at below half HP. There's still a 5v4 with one of your main carries very low in HP here, so see if they cannot mount some type of counterattack here. Kiki Raven gonna go ahead and use Nature's Grasp here. HP so far up here. He's looking for an ultimate there. Snipe gonna get the stun up, but a triple stun from the W there. He's looking for a kill on the Tommy, but it looks like he's gonna fall instead here. It is going to be good onto the front line here. Highlander is going to be used here, and Shogun is now here. So it's going to be really hard for him to counterattack now. Cosmic Radiance is going to be used. He's going to look for a kill. Maybe on the Praxis here. Exhaust is going to be used. We'll be able to pick up the kill, and the Meditate's doing so much. Not going to be able to find it. That's it's going to land onto Ace Tactics here. I see the range trying to do as much as possible. Double kill going to go over through the Alpha Strike there. Ace in the hole too. They're also going to be able to pick up that one. Ace Tactics is barely living through the Fountain Laser. And is going to be an ace going over to Salami Esports as they pick up their third series win in LAS Premade.
That was a game. That was an intense, really fun game to watch. DOV, I have to give them props. They did really well in the second game. They realized their mistake.
I would love to give a screenshot to you, Sauce Better, but I
Yeah, I'm still on the waiting stream.
can't. We're getting ganked by Riot's servers.
But other than the first game, I feel like DOV realized their mistakes. I just feel like their jungle needs to realize that if you gank too much ganking is really bad.
Also, Gunther in general, he did the same thing both games. He got a gank off bot and mid, but like I said, that was mostly off the mistake of Praxis. But he did after that, he just focused top. And
Yeah.
top, even after all those ganks, was down like 50, 60 CS. And it's like, why are you constantly ganking a lane that's just not going to win no matter how many
And then,
times
and
you
then
gank?
on top of ganking, he was also taking the XP and
The
CS from
XP
Geeky
and
Raven
CS,
and
and
pushing
he was still
Raven
down
behind even more.
XP and CS to Praxis. Because Praxis was just getting free rain off his bot side jungle. Because he was always top side.
Mm-hmm. And he also, yeah, and he just gave Praxis free, like, because how the game should have went. Praxis had a really bad start. Gave Zinzel the greatest start of his life. He literally had blue side, he had the enemy red side, and then he had a free gank bot and a free gank mid. Perfect for him. And then for some reason, as soon as he went back to his top red side, he went from a gank, which is good, but then he kept on going for another gank, and then another gank, and then another gank top, and then he put and the Geeky Raven was already behind because he had to sell his support item because he accidentally bought a support item because I bet he went the recommendation one, and because the recommendation is usually Maokai support.
Blame solo queue for that one, Geeky Raven. It's okay. We'll back you up. Yeah, definitely a very rough game for Geeky Raven there. He was just down so much. I can't see because the stats aren't here, but I'm pretty sure he got Flame Horizon. He was Flame Horizon from Chile at one point, but I'm pretty sure no, it got to that point. I'm pretty sure HBB got to the point where he had over 100 CS over. But yeah, I mean, if you have anything else, Wolven, but
No, I have to say, props to both games. Like, and happy birthday to Chili. You played an amazing game. You showed them, hey, it's my birthday. I'm gonna do my best. And you did, and you guys took home a win.
congratulations being old Chili. You're the man, man. Definitely, definitely showed up in this series. But we're gonna go ahead and head into a break here. Play of the game pool is going to be opening here, so I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Chili deserves it. It's his birthday, you know. Got to give it to the birthday boy. Other guys, gonna head to a short break here. We'll see you, and we'll be back.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome back. So, oh, oopsies, that's not very good. Um, you guys ended up voting for Mr. Praxis 182 as your player of the game. Now, I mean, he did have a little bit of a iffy early game. I'm gonna be honest. That little bit of, I guess, trying to greed for the kill top lane was just not ideal, but I definitely think he made up for it with the mid game and the late game. He was able to just take over, essentially. He had, I believe, 15 kills. Unfortunately, we weren't able to grab the stats screen for that, but I think he did end the game with about 15 kills and very minimal deaths. I think they were able to play it out very well. They did force what they needed to force, and even though they did give up a couple early objectives, like the first Drake and then first Blood, overall, they were able to come back, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that his laners were able to stay relatively even or even ahead, especially in the CS department. Chile was able to stay very ahead in the CS department in both games, and I think because he was able to have that mid prio, Praxis was just able to take over the game, make sure that Anivia was not able to scale up where she needed to be, even though she was able to get 2 kills relatively early in the game. But that 1 kill on the Xin Zhao that did happen up by the red buff, and Raptor Pit was able to help push him in the direction that he needed to go, help him scale a little bit faster because of that early game blunder. And an assist on Yi is a lot better than an assist on Xin Zhao, and you take that trade any day of the week. Any comments, Wilvin or Sheep, about the game before we do wrap it up?
I mean, not much. I pretty much said everything after the post analyst for both games.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely am proud of DOV for the second game. They showed up a lot more from that first game. I mean,
Yeah.
not getting a kill, only getting a single tower, not even getting a tower. I mean, they didn't do anything in the first game. It was a stomp. It was sad. They just outdrafted, got outplayed. There was just no winning that game almost. Like,
I
do
definitely
have to give
think. Oh,
props
sorry.
to yeah, sorry about that. I do have to give props to the Thresh.
Mm-hmm.
He tried his hardest. He did get his Kaisa kill. He did try, you know, the freeze the lane for the Kaisa. He did everything in his power to keep the Kaisa's lead going, but for some reason, his Kaisa just wanted to keep on pushing the lanes, keep on pushing and pushing, and then you have his Xin Zhao up in top lane taking XP and farm from the Maokai, who was already super.
Definitely. I think a big issue that did end up happening was that a lot of the especially the solo laners, were able to maintain like even leads, especially with what happened early game, especially like Chile once again was able to maintain at least maybe a 10 to 15 CS lead, 20 actually in the early game, and that converted over to like a 40, maybe even 50 by late game. And their top laner was just HBB was just always ahead no matter what. Both games. I don't think we talked about it enough, but he was just able to maintain his CS lead throughout the entire game, even after getting ganked a couple times, especially in that top lane. He did give up an early death, but at that point he was already ahead like 20 CS, which is just a little bit more than what a kill is worth. 15 CS equates to about 300 gold, so overall he was ahead, even if he did give away his body, which did give some XP. But that was also made up for by the fact that Xin Zhao was permanently top, unfortunately, sucking away some of that XP that the Maokai did need. Maokai may not need CS to be strong, but he does need levels. Or, sorry, he does not need CS to be strong, he needs levels. And unfortunately, he was not able to get those levels to stay relevant in the game.
Yeah, I do agree. Because, like I said, DOV had a really strong team comp. They had a lot of lockdown. The only pressure they really needed to worry about was mostly the Yi, because as you know, Sheep has said multiple times, Yi has the the opportunity to get past all that CC with his Alpha Strike.
Definitely.
But I feel like Xin Zhao kind of like perma staying top didn't really help his team as much, because you needed your Kaisa to get super far ahead. Yes, your Maokai did mess up. He did buy a support item at the beginning, but even then, Maokai was still he wasn't matching the levels, but he was still maintaining himself.
Hmm.
He was still trading with the Gnar. He would actually almost kill the Gnar multiple times by himself.
Definitely. And I think if he did have that little bit of a XP level lead, he would have just been able to kill the Gnar at that point and press the advantage that he would have had. But overall, I think it was mainly an issue with their like I do think that support item, Unfortunate Buy, was a really big problem for the Maokai, and he was forced to sell it and not have a starter item throughout most of the laning phase. And having a Doran shield, especially into a Gnar, is super vital. Just that innate like health regen, as well as the passive when getting autoed or like trading, just gives you a lot more health regen, which is incredibly helpful into a lane bully like the Gnar. And unfortunately, I do think he did play this lane out better than last lane. Um, as the Maokai instead of the Cho'Gath, he definitely played it a lot better. But overall, it wasn't enough, and it was just Schlam Esports, like it was just all on their solo laners and junglers to just carry the game, and they did.
Yeah, I have to say, three things for DOV to work on. First of all, if you see the top lane doing well in a champion, you ban it. Do not. Gnar should not have went through banning phase.
Hmm.
They should have banned out the Gnar, because them not banning Gnar gave Slam Esports to get him on another good, to keep him on a comfortable pick. As you can already see what he did Gnar the first game, you know he's going to do the exact same thing the second game.
Yeah.
Because Gnar is a strong champion right now, and if you know how to play Gnar, you can dominate top lane. I've seen it multiple times during solo queue. I've seen in the LES draft. I've seen the LES Premade now. Gnar is just a really good top laner, so I feel like that should have been a main ban. Second is that they need to work on more positioning.
Hmm.
Their positioning was really bad. Anivia was putting down her R's in the weirdest locations, giving the opportunity for the Yi to go on top of her, and giving opportunity for Victor just to put his W down and stun her.
I don't
It's
think they were very practiced on the champion, or they didn't run it all too much during scrims. Unfortunately, from what we saw, uh, I do think Anivia does have that little bit of advantage because her trading pattern is really simple. Victor's trading pattern is a little bit harder to land, but it but it just didn't happen. Like
and then
like
the last thing I would say is that runes and summoners. Anivia shouldn't have ignite
mhm.
because she was not looking to win that lane. You do not win against Victor. You can trade against Victor, you can push Victor out, but you can't win trades against Victor
Mhm.
unless you're super far ahead. But the reason you bring TP is so you can push the lane out, get as much CS as you can, TP back, get your items. I mean, not TP back, recall back, get your items, and TP back as soon as possible so you can keep that lead as Olivia. Second, PTA and Kaisa does not work.
Not anymore, especially with the new itemization. Having that Hail of Blades to be able to get your first 3 autos out incredibly fast, and just follow that up with like a Gale Force and a couple autos just to proc passive. It's just a lot
Because
better to have instead of that press the attack because it takes so long to proc because Kaisa's base attack speed isn't very high, but it does scale very well. But it's better to have that Hail of Blades so you can make up for that weak early game and trade incredibly well with those 3 Hail of Blades autos.
it's like the same thing with Draven. Is that the reason you bring Hellblaze on Draven in that PTA is because you want to get as much autos out as possible. Same thing with Kaisa. You want to proc her passive as much as possible because once you get your passive, your plasma, I think it's plasma. I forget what it's called. You do a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. And the thing is what was that, Sheep?
Especially early game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially especially early game because once you hit level 2, because I did not realize this until my coach told me, which is actually Sheep, that the more plasma stacks you have, the more damage your W does.
Yep. And your W also detonates 2 plasma stacks at no evolve, but at full evolve it actually procs 3. So using your W in your combo with that Hail of Blades will do so much more damage, especially because you're able to proc that plasma when it's at full stack and do so much more damage with that W, making it more deadly.
No, and exactly, and I did like seeing the Gale Force on Caitlyn
Mhm.
on that game because, as you said, there was a lot of stuff she needed in the dodge. There was a lot of repositioning she needed to do, and she also had Tarek with her, and she can, if she had to, she can Gale Force, and Tarek can E at the same time. But as Sheep says, if you're doing that as Caitlyn, you're not really playing Caitlyn correctly because Caitlyn likes to stay far back and keep on poking as much as possible. You don't want to
Mhm.
be up in front with Caitlyn. Um, but the problem with going Gale Force in some matchups is that you don't need the movement speed as much as you need the attack speed
Definitely.
with Caitlyn.
Caitlyn has
Because
low base attack speed already as a
Yeah,
champion,
one of the lowest out of all the ADCs.
so having that scaling attack speed with item completions would help out a lot in that Kraken Slayer item. I do think that DOV does need to work on a little bit of fundamentals, especially learning to use their range advantages that they did have, especially in game one where it was the Lux into the Anivia. I do think the Lux should have been a little bit more present with her. She does have a lot longer range with the E, with the Q, and although she does have a smaller health pool, you trade that for having that longer range and having an amazing burst combo. Anivia has a better DPS combo, yes, but if you are able to burst her down before she can get that, before she can actually detonate her combo, it's a lot better. And I think just not abusing that range advantage or positioning properly was definitely a reason why the Lux was always behind on CS and always behind on tempo as well.
a lot of people I see of mid lane does like I used to do this a lot too, is that people use their mana way too much
Hmm.
when they because like they're thinking, well, I gotta CS with my abilities, not with my autos, because we all know mages has really bad attack damage.
Hmm.
Like their auto attacks is really really bad, so it's really hard to CS with mages at times. But that should also tell you that teach you how to CS better is that you just need to keep on autoing. I think Tommy did really well the second game. He was behind on CS, but he wasn't as far behind in CS than he
Hmm.
was with the Lux, and he was keeping up with Chili. It's just again, like I said, him bringing Ignite sacrificed him to reposition himself to keep the lead that he had in the early game because that Zinzao gave them.
I think
And then
having teleport. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
having teleport would have been a lot better because he could have TP'd back in the lane, and he could have kept his CS going, could have kept his momentum going, keeping the victor from getting his power spikes.
I think keeping momentum was definitely something that they did struggle with because they did have that early game lead. Uh, I don't think he should have played through, or Gunth should have played through top side. I think it was a lot better to have played through mid and through bot. I think he should have definitely been more aggressive with the way he did path. He pathed very passively. He did not, other than like in the super early game when the Yi messed up the red buff, he only invaded about like during that little portion of time instead of constantly invading the Yi. Overall, Zenzao is a lot stronger of a duelist than the Yi, especially in the early game when he was ahead. He got a kill early. He should have been pressuring that E, not letting that E farm. And unfortunately, Yi and like exited mid game with a CS lead over the Xin Zhao, which should not have been possible considering the champion difference.
No, and I do agree. Another thing is, I have to say about some esports, what they could improve on, they were a little too aggressive.
Hmm.
Like, I understand you want to keep your lead, but I have learned from my team games from playing in the LAS draft is that if you go for too many picks, you're going to put yourself behind.
Hmm.
And Slum Esports was looking for picks. They were looking to try to tie that. Yes, it paid off for them because they were already super far ahead to the point where DOV just could not come back.
But that mid
That's
lane
how far
play.
ahead. But the problem is that one little mistake, and if DOV saw that mistake and they capitalized on it, it could have been a completely different game, and DOV could have just swept them over.
There was a very close fight in the mid lane where they were able to grab a pick on the Victor and the Tarek, I believe. But what they did do afterwards was overextend. DOV
They
overextended and
only
then
extended
lost
and
a lot
Caitlyn,
harder.
yeah,
I
and
think they
then
should have just taken
Caitlyn
what
was
they had
able to
and walked
reposition.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I agree. Like from they got they gotta carry and they got the support, and then they try to like chase down the Caitlyn, and I feel like no, you got two people, just reset.
Just take what you have, take what you can get.
Mhm.
Especially when you are that far behind, a small victory is a victory nonetheless. If you can, they got a huge shutdown from that. They should have just taken what they had and been happy with it. And unfortunately, they did try and greed, thinking they could have won with that numbers advantage they did have, but they were just too far behind that at that point, and they were just CC'd up and not able to play the game. Especially with that Gnar being so far ahead. Gnar from behind is not very tanky, but from ahead, he's almost impossible to deal with.
Well, because people don't realize that Nar's really weak when he's baby Nar
Mm-hmm.
when he's just regular Nar. Nar gains bonus stats when he goes Mega Nar, and as DOV always tried to engage fights when Nar was almost Mega Nar each
Mm-hmm.
time, and it's like you do not want to engage when you see that bar is turning orange or red.
Yep.
You do not want to engage because he's gonna turn Mega Gnar. He can triple hop over you before he turns into Mega Gnar, and then as you saw, he got a triple stun on
Yep.
on the last fight.
They definitely did not pick their windows very effectively. I think they had to pick that window up at the final stages of the game where they were pushed into their base, but I definitely do think they should have chosen better windows to fight, and I definitely think vision control could have helped that out a lot. I think they need to work on fundamentals, walking with the jungler and support together as a duo, trying to get deep vision in the enemy jungle to be able to see where he is if they are not able to keep track of him. And if they can work on those two things, and definitely draft, especially after what we saw first game, draft was a big issue, and that is why they were not able to get a single kill. But main thing, fundamentals and vision control. If they can get those two things straight, I think they can do a lot better because they were able to play that early game incredibly well, especially the bot lane. They did play that early game well, and I
No,
will
like,
give them that.
like yeah, it's exactly what you said. If they just work on the small mistakes that they have, and because they fixed their drafting, they had a really good draft. Just work on your positioning, work
Mm-hmm.
on your pathing, work on your vision control. Then you could you're gonna win a lot more games than what you saw here. You're not gonna get to the point where you get so far behind you literally just can't do anything because he was just picking up, as you saw, he picked up a quadra kill.
Mm-hmm.
You
I know
should
it
not
is a
pick
lot
up
to
quadra
ask,
kill.
though. It is a lot to ask. It is a lot to improve on. But I think what one thing that they could do to help themselves out, because I don't think they do have that synergy that they want yet. So if you do want to work on something to help your synergy, focus on comps that are very simple to execute on. I do think they had a very difficult team comp to execute on because they had a lot of single target ZC. Their goal was to look for flanks or look for picks. But if they just pick a team fight comp, uh, it is a lot easier to play around that. The Xin Zhao just didn't really fit that ideology
Oh,
that they wanted. I think, yes, he does make up for their generally weak early game coming out from the Anivia and the Maokai, but he did not slot very well in, especially in the later stage of the game. He was more like a cannon minion, just because Xin Zhao falls off incredibly hard.
I felt like they played their comp well.
Hmm.
It was just, again, as you saw, the jungler focused way too much on top lane
Hmm.
because he was trying to get his top laner ahead back into the game, and that put his top laner more behind.
Yes.
I feel like Zenza was a good pick for their comp. Like their entire comp was literally lock down the other members of the team while Zenza deals with the Yi. Because Zenza can R, and then Yi can't really go into Zenza.
I do think the Xin Zhao pick is fine, but it's harder to execute on than other junglers. There are definitely like a jungler like Jarvan um, or like more engaged style junglers that can duel very well. Maybe even Kane. Something like that is a lot better to execute with, or it's a lot easier to execute with than the Xin Zhao. The Xin Zhao only has one method, and he has to play it perfectly. Like, although the champion is relatively simple, his role in the game is a lot harder to execute on than a champion like Jarvan, who has more facets to play through, instead of just, oh, I have to do one thing and one thing only, and I have to do that one thing perfectly. And I think having a little more flexibility in the jungle pick would have helped them out a lot.
Any thoughts from you, Sheep?
I mean, not much. I mean, I'm the play-by-play, I ain't the analyst.
Well,
I've been over here just chilling.
I think that's
You need
about
need
everything.
some high elo, you know, thoughts, then come to me. But besides that, I'm here for the ride.
Well,
So, what do you thought about the comps? Though, you thought DOV had a good comp? Do you thought the Zenza was a good pick, or do you think it was a meh of a pick?
I think DOV second game. I don't think comp was the issue. I think it was more of less gameplay mechanics and decision making.
I definitely think decision making was a big issue for what they did. They did not, like you said, they didn't press the advantages that they did have. I think their overall macro was not as great as it could have been, especially with their leads.
But overall, both teams played really well. You know, but in the end, Slime Esports took the win for Chile. Again, happy birthday, Chile! You played
Yes,
phenomenal. Uh, I can't wait to see you more again in the Rift and see what you can pull off.
definitely. Super excited, Chile. Happy 19th. Happy Big 1-9. You're able to drink in Canada. So that's a plus, other than getting old, which is also a minus at the same time. But with that, thank you all for watching. A huge congratulations to Schlam Esports for taking home the 2-0. And have a good night, everyone. Take care.
If there was a way to capture this time, I could show you pictures of the light inside my mind. If I could hold the magic, the one I don't wanna lose, I could say I'm sorry.